want to thank everyone for coming. Can we stand and we salute the flag?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, members of the public, for those who are listening online, I want to thank you for coming to our board July 27 Linden board meeting. I want the board members, when you're speaking, would you guys during the meeting bring your mics closer? Because a lot of members of the public are complaining that they can't hear you because your mics are too far away. So when you bring it closer to you, when you're speaking, not only are the people in the audience hearing you, but the general public would also be hearing you as well. So just move it closer to you when you come to the meeting so you could be clearer speaking.
I see it. Yes. People are looking at you like you're crazy.
Madam Superintendent and other leading administration staff, thank you for being here. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 10, 2023, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Union County Local Source, and the Court of the Municipality. I want to remind everyone that by state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items in this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein, as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law. Roll call.
Ms. Armstead.
Here.
Ms. Carrillo.
Present.
Ms. Cintron.
Present.
Mr. Dela Cruz.
Here.
Mrs. Fleming.
Present. Online.
Ms. Pino.
Present.
Ms. Rosada Quesada. Ms. Thomas. And Dr. Berghammer.
Present. Ms. Fleming, I want to thank you for being here. I know that it's your love for this district and for the students that make it possible for you to be online. I want to thank you very, very, very much. And I hope, this board hopes you're doing okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for allowing me to be online.
Okay. Our next agenda item would be comments from the public. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please begin your comment by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficient and orderly operation of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on agenda items for 3 minutes. Do we have anyone online? Okay. So our next agenda item is a superintendent report. Madam Superintendent, I know that we have to go into executive session, so we're going to have to wait until our attorney gets here, so you would just move forward.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. On Thursday night, my superintendent's report will include what I've been learning thus far and putting into action, as well as just the needs of the district. One thing I'd like to just put out there this evening is that we're very excited that our website continues to be revitalized. And right now, we just redid our Twitter page. So a message went out to all of our school community today with that Twitter handle, Linden PS, and currently we have 91 followers. So sign up, follow us, and I'll have more on Thursday. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you.
As we continue, I want to urge parents that even though it is summer holidays, I want to urge you parents to keep your children engaged in the process of learning. For the young children, read to them, have them do homework, have them practice their math and their English and their reading. Pick a book for your children to read. If you are not sure of what book you would like them to read, call into the school and ask the school to make recommendation to create a reading list for your children. Do not let your children start in the fall without practicing their math, their reading, and their other skills that is needed for them to continue their education at a fast pace. I thank you very much. Our next agenda item is our attorney's report.
Just in time. I do have a report, but it's going to have to all be in closed session.
Yeah, do you think the time has come for us to go to executive session, or should we continue?
It's up to you. I mean, we could just finish the rest of the agenda and then go into closed, come back out and close the meeting.
Okay, sure, all right.
Sounds like a plan.
Our next agenda item then would be our Education Committee report.
Good evening, everyone. The Education Committee, upon recommendation of Superintendent of Schools and the Assistant Superintendent, present the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Items 1 through 8 are special needs related services, and that's on pages 4 through 8. Item 9 are amendments to past report items such as dates, personnel changes for translated services. Item 10 is to approve field trips. They're in the hands of the board members. Item 11 is central registration for pre-K roundup. The dates and times are provided below. Item 12 is the use of facilities for school activities, pages 9 through 11, and these pertain to a lot of the high school activities such as, portraits and the Navy Junior ROTC fundraisers. Item 13, to approve district staff training. Items, pages 12 through 15. Item 14 is to approve the winter and spring concert dates and times and facilities as listed below. 15, approve the school improvement panel committee members for each school as listed below, and that's pages 17 through 19. Item 16, this item is for student teachers to be able to come into the district and complete their field observations or their practicums with all of the institutions that are listed below. Item 17 is to approve EduSeer for students to meet their high school graduation requirements. Item 18 is to grant approval for some undergraduate students that are training to be athletic trainers to be able to do their clinical field experience here in Linden under the supervision of our head athletic director, trainer. Item 19 is to approve the submission of the Special Olympics grant application that we're looking to implement this upcoming school year. Number 20 is to submit a grant application for girls flag football. This is going to be a high school event. Number 21 is to grant approval for Darrell Burgess to complete his doctoral studies from the American College of Education. He'll be examining how the district utilizes technology at both Seoul and McManus Middle School. Item 22 is to give approval for the superintendent and the assistant superintendent to send educators to in-house professional development for the 23-24 school year. Item 23 is to write multimedia lesson plans for our health education curriculum for grades 1 through 5. This will help us stay in compliance with state requirements. Number 24 is an agreement between Kane University and Linden Public School. So athletic trainers that are in training can come into the district and get their field experience. Number 25 is to approve the creation of the Linden Athletic Hall of Fame. And that proposal is in the board's hands. Number 26 is to approve the position of title funding coordinator for the title programs that we have. 27, to approve emergency medical response action plans that will be carried out in the school settings for the 23-24 school year. Item 28 pertains to utilizing the Danielson framework, which is our evaluation tool for educators for the 23-24 school year. Number 29 is to approve the New Jersey Principals Evaluation to be able to evaluate our administrators in the district for the 23-24 school year. Number 30 is to approve the biannual summation report for HIB under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. Number 31 is to approve early dismissal for Linden High School students on Thursday, May 23rd of 2024. Number 32 is to approve tuition adjustment for the ARC of Union County, located in Springfield, New Jersey, for a tuition payment. Number 33, to approve the superintendent's determination actions taken on all reports and incidences of harassment, intimidation, and bullying as discussed on the June 29, 2023 regular meeting. And the last item is to approve the Linden Public Schools Emergency Virtual Instructional Guide that needs to be submitted to the county superintendent. And that's my report.
Any questions?
Yes, I do. On page 8, number 9, I'm just curious as to why, instead of the schools closed and offices open December 29th, instead of reading it all closed, why are we going to do half open and half closed?
So what we found on, sorry, Mr. Oliveira. This was brought to me, but it goes on education. So what we found was when we created the calendar, we made a mistake with the closure of the 3 days that offices are open during a holiday break. We originally had that offices would be open Tuesday, Wednesday, half a day Thursday. That's how it always has been. But Christmas falls on a Monday. And so as a result, all offices are closed the day after a scheduled holiday. So we just had to push it to Wednesday, Thursday, half a day Friday. So that's what this change is here, for the 3 days we'll be open.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Have one. Let me see.
I wanted to ask a question about any other questions? All right, I want to ask a question. I know that we're starting to do a special needs Olympic grant program. Do you have an idea of Mr.
John.
Do you have an idea of our number 19, our special needs grant program, how much grant money we actually applying for, and how far are we in it so that we could possibly get this program running at the beginning of the school year?
So that's an item that Mr. Firestone and I met with the Special Olympics of New Jersey organization, and that item is based on a little monies for startup costs, like any materials we might need, but it's also to establish just what the coaching personnel would take to establish a program here in the city. So they basically give us money for a year to do a startup costs. I think the total amount is for the coaches, for the assistants, and for all the materials that they need. I think it's close to roughly $10,000. I'm not sure of what the application is going to be asking. We don't know if the New Jersey Special Olympics is going to award all that money, but we've put it in to see if they will.
Well, my next question regarding the grant program is that we have about 968 special needs, right, kids, and we have 11 schools. My question is that are we going to just focus on the high school, or are we focusing it district-wide? Because if it's just $10,000, could we possibly focus it district-wide, or do we have to focus it maybe in high school or elementary? Where do we begin?
No, I think at the last meetings that we had, the focus was to start small and grow the program.
Yes.
So I think the whole board decided to go from the little ones
Okay.
and build out the program. So this is only for pre-K, K to fifth grade. That's the only range.
And my last question, sorry, is that because we have limited means, are we going to focus on, there's a lot of programs for special needs. So are we going to focus on 2 or 3 programs, or how are we going to even select the programs we actually going to be working on in order to start the program? Does that make sense what I'm saying? There's so many sports or kids could compete in when it comes to special needs. Are we picking 3 or 4 programs? Because if we go all over the place, nothing would happen. So are we going to target specific programs we want to develop and compete in?
So to answer that question, there was a survey that was submitted to the parents of Linden Public Schools that have special needs students, and they did select some sports and activities that they wanted their children to be able to participate. So that's going to be the focus if this grant is approved by the New Jersey Special Olympics Foundation. If they grant us the money, then that's the next step, where we'll start to, try to find a coach and try to do all of those things to plan the activities that the parents want.
Do you guys have any questions? It's like, it's in my head and
So, I'm sorry, we had the same question, number 19, about the special sports. So you're talking about the money will cover the coach, the materials, and what else? Because our kids need something as well. Will they cover anything for them as well? Let's just say they need like the helmets and the knee pads or the elbow pads. Will the money come out of that to pay for it, or will the parents have to add money to that for them to join the activities? And will you limit the children with the activities? Meaning that if we have, like she said, 3 activities, can they participate in all 3? Or will we just let them participate with 1 or 2 or just 1? So it won't be so overexertion or whatever the case may be, okay?
Yes, great. So basically, the program will cover any of the materials that we don't have in the district for this. So the money is to also cover T-shirts for the students. There's a little allotted amount that the children will receive. Another piece of it is also for promoting the program within the city of Linden. So in order to submit the application, we had to eventually put in there that we're going to do some type of outreach to the rest of the community. So before we could ever do anything, we have to submit this application to be able to do all of the things listed. So one of the things was also to have the special needs students, just like what occurred this year, kind of spontaneously, where the girls softball had the autistic child go to the game and they gave her. We want to encourage more activities like that the special needs Olympic coach would be able to go to different activities. So did I answer all of your questions?
I have one more question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, being that is from where K to 5th grade, right? Will these babies have to try out or anything, or will there be, or they can just participate, or what?
They could participate, and the thing that we're looking is to be able to do the program from September to June. So there'll be different sports, just like how we have in the district. So, in the fall season, there'll be fall sports that they can participate in. In the winter sports, they'll have winter sports. And then in the spring, they'll have spring sports.
Okay, all right.
I have a question. As far as when do you plan on submitting the grant? And then after that, do you know about how long it would take?
So I don't know how long it would take, but as soon as this gets approved on the agenda on Thursday, we're looking to submit the application right away.
I have a last question. I understand we're doing pre-K to 5. What athletic program we would have in place for special needs middle school and high school students? Do we have anything right now, or do they just go walk around the building like normal? Do you have any athletic program at all for?
So students with special needs are allowed to still participate in sports activities that the district holds. This is a specific program for our more severe population. When we met with the Special Olympics representatives, they said schools that try to do a lot in a short amount of time usually end up failing, and the program fizzles and nothing happens. They really recommended start small, build the interest with the little ones, And eventually you could grow out the program to really encompass the middle school and the high school. And eventually there's a program that's kind of an interscholastic where the students could even win varsity letters for participating on these different types of programs. So that's what we're trying to build. It's kind of a 5-year, 3-year strategic plan if we get this grant.
Anybody have any more questions? I think this is,
So,
I have more of a comment.
yes.
Which I actually, when we did speak about it the first time, we did say, let's start out small because, with the younger kids, because now at least you get to build the younger kids into growing together as a team. And then as they get older, they start bringing in the younger kids behind them. So we're hoping that the program does eventually grow to the whole district and we keep it thriving. Okay. I was happy that I dealt with the Special Olympics in my job. And these athletes are amazing.
Beautiful.
And it was amazing that they were going to Berlin, how psyched they were and see the type of excitement that they had. So my next thing is, I was just thinking to myself here, if we started up, I'm going to see with them if we could get some Special Olympic athletes here to come and speak, so we can try to even boost it up even more. So if we could do it at the high school, wherever, we will try to set that up.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
so it's just, how much is it again? Just 10,000?
Yes, the initial start grant is 10,000. Remember, this organization supports the entire state of New Jersey. So it's the New Jersey Special Olympics. We're one of the first schools in Union County to actually do this program. They said they've never been in Linden before, and they're excited to partner with Linden.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm really
Just saying, just
excited.
10,000, they can't give us no more, it's just
Oh.
10,000. They can't give us no more, you know, we need a little bit more, so everybody could like participate and get
Yeah.
something, you know, and, you know, that's just my opinion, you know.
We just got to get the district to find a way to start writing grants, looking for grant money, so that we can build this program more. But as you said, it's small. We are the first, and we could possibly get some of our local businesses to see if they could start donating or contributing to our program. One of the things I know is that if you have a great special need program, the community rallies around it. So they say, field of dreams, build it, they will come. Right? That's what we're going to do. So seeing that, any more questions in this? You have somebody in line? All right, Ms. Fleming, thank you.
Hi, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to thank you for all of your hard work in putting this together and, you know, really diving in there and making this, you know, a priority. And I just want to thank you. And also on the agenda items, just a comment on the continuing of education for our teachers and principals who, I just want to say thank you for continuing your education so that you can make Linden even better. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
I wanted to ask a question about item number 23. I know we spoke about it, Miss Perkins, but I didn't really understand it clearly about our multimedia lessons for health education. How does that work?
Well, this is new. So we were informed by the state that our students' health curriculum must be taught by health PE teachers that are certified. And on the elementary scheduling, there's no way for the PE teachers to carry out health for the required amount of minutes necessary for the state standard for health. So we came together with all of the administrators and also the acting athletic director, and we discussed, well, how else can we carry this out? So we are going to be relying on a virtual platform. And so we're going to get the PE teachers to apply, hopefully, to create these lessons, and then they will be shared in the classrooms for the teachers to serve as co-teachers. By following this model, it will allow us to be in compliance with meeting the number of required minutes for health as part of the curriculum. So that's why we're calling it multimedia lessons, because it's going to be carried out through multimedia.
Another thing on the agenda that really I want to learn a little bit more about also is item number 27.
So this item pertains to the district. Every year they have to, the schools have to have an emergency medical response plan in case a student gets sick, gets hurt. The nurses have a protocol, and this item is that protocol that's in one of the attachments that's in your hand for you to review. It gives you all the steps that the nurses and that the school administrators have to proceed. In case a student faints in a hallway, what's the procedure that they would follow? And this kind of lays it all out for them.
Any other questions?
So what's the difference between that one and number 34? Number 34, I know this one here is the medical response, and this one is the what?
So item 34
Yes.
is in case we have to close schools.
Okay.
That's, COVID. That's that emergency plan. The state requires that every year we redo our plan and we stay up with the latest possible technology so we don't get caught like we did with COVID.
So before we move on to the next agenda item, I want to make sure everyone has all the answers they need regarding our education committee. Fine. Ms. Perkins, seeing that before we move on to education, out of education, is it all right for you to discuss some of our summer learning options for students to stay engaged? Like I know we have online, explain it, I can't yet.
Okay, well, there's several things going on. We have our appointed summer reading programs, bridge programs. The bridge programs, actually, this upcoming Thursday, they're having a gallery walk at all of the schools. 10 a.m. at the high school, 10:30 at McManus, 11 a.m. at Seoul. It's the last day for Summer Bridge, and that's upcoming rising fifth graders into sixth grade, rising eighth graders into ninth grades. And they focused on math and language arts. We also have our summer credit recovery program where the students are working on the online platform at Mintum to meet the required credits necessary to fulfill their grade requirement. We also encourage all of our families to follow the summer reading plan online. It's under the home tab on our website, and it has all of our books there for students to remain engaged and can be found. All of the books online are at the Linden Public Library, and we also have links for math instructional support for students. And so what we call this is the summer slide. We don't want students to decline in their learning, and so we offer these supports to help our students stay in alignment with preparing for the next grade. So we encourage our families, again, to go to the website, and we sent this out at the end of the school year, but the summer reading packets as well as the math are great ways to help encourage our students to remain engaged in learning curriculum material.
That's good. Before we continue, is there any way for us to track the student learning during the summer, so to help, I know we have all these stuff online, but how do we track it?
Yes, definitely. For every program that we are running, we always do a closure or self-assessment to reflect on the strengths and weaknesses. And the biggest way to determine, especially for those students with a credit recovery, is that they have to get those credits. And so it shows that they passed the summer program. And then the bridge programs, again, the 6th graders and 9th graders, the teachers and the supervisors, they do gather that information to see the strengths of the program and also the ability of the students. Feedback that I've received thus far, students are saying, we love math, this is great. They get the opportunity to be in the building before September arrives, and the teachers that are engaged in the program as well, they have a lot of positive feedback.
Before we move on, any questions?
Yes, Ms. Perkins, with the reading program, let's say like if a student in high school has like 3 books that the student has to read, and then come September, they will get tested, or is there a report? No?
No, years ago, we used to require for students to have to submit a project that would get graded. But again, it wasn't done with any school officials, it was home. So we learned that, it is highly encouraged. Students who do complete these projects, they bring them in, they do get credit for it. But the ultimate goal is just to increase the passion of learning, and then we just provide these materials online for them. But there isn't a set. Before it used to be like 2 books in 6th grade or 1 in 4th. Now it's all just suggested reading lists, and then the math too is by grade level to just help them prepare for the upcoming grade level skills. But it's not mandatory. It's highly encouraged
I see.
because it's the summer.
Yes.
Right,
What
but-
is the website?
Linden Public Schools, under home. If at the top, just click on home, and that's the first thing you'll see, midway, summer reading, math skills.
Board members, I do apologize for asking all these questions, but during summer, even for all of us, it's so important for all of us to know, because parents stop us all the time and they ask us questions, and we need to be on top of our game, so we need to know what's going on. So I do apologize once again. Our next agenda item is our personnel report.
Isn't that
Oh, no,
executive
sorry, I messed up. I forget. Sam, I gotta do it at least once a night. Yes. Okay, so our next report is our finance report.
Good evening, everybody. Before I get into the resolutions, I just wanted to give everyone a quick update on some of the items that we're working on over the summer. And I first want to thank Jay and Rolly for all the hard work that they've been doing. The bathroom projects are underway. They're actually in the demolition phase. So unfortunately, the bathrooms here aren't able to be used. If anyone these 2 right here, we have ones elsewhere in the building. And if members of the public need to go to the bathroom, we can direct you on where to go. We've done a lot of work in the areas over here. We've painted the gym. We've done some ceiling tile replacement as well as light replacements, which we'll see when we walk into our executive session. We have flooring work being done throughout the district. We're actually getting some of the gym floors done. You'll see the floor work is getting done here. In regards to the marquees, we're actually waiting on approval from the town. We've spoken with the vendor in regards to installation. For most of them, it'll only take a day for the setup. And then we're obviously going to have to work with our electrician on getting the power out there. The flagpole work, I don't know if I'd mentioned this previously, but the flagpoles have been painted. The ones that needed to be, the new ones to be installed, have been installed. And I want to thank Mrs. Fleming for providing us with a contact for that work. Intercom works are being done currently for the middle school, and there's also work that needs to be done at the high school. We have on the agenda tonight, and we'll talk about it in a little bit in regards to the scoreboard. The fencing is in, playgrounds and the rubber mulch. There is a long lead time on that. We're hoping that, and we have some that are on the agenda, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The ones that we have previously approved, we had been hoping to get it in by the fall. It might be pushed back a little bit, because of the long lead time and then with the weather changing. Our roofs are still being scanned to see which roofs need which work. The window work, we have that repair work is currently being scheduled. We have a meeting with our architect next week to go over the School 6 playground work, specifically in regards to any engineering that would need to be done. And the vendor came out to do the final measurements for the wall pads throughout the several schools that were getting new wall pads in regards to their gymnasiums. And we're also in the process.
Excuse me, Mrs. Sarapilia, could you say the numbered item you're working on?
Oh, these are just the projects that we have. I just
okay.
wanted to give everyone an update.
All right,
on
good,
that.
yes.
Now I'll get to the resolutions. The first two are our treasurers and board secretaries reports. I apologize, we will have that out to the Board of Education. It's just with the end of the school year, we have a lot of invoices that are coming in. So we're looking to get all of those on before we put it before the board for approval. The other items are our typical monthly approvals for payments on the bills list, the paying of the payroll, the transfers, student activities reports. We once again are receiving money from Blackboard Giving Fund. We have a resolution to accept that. For resolution number 7, we're accepting donations for our music program, violins and trumpets. We want to thank the people for the donations. Resolutions 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is for the playground area at School 5. There's 2 different playground areas. There's one in the courtyard area, which is the interior, it's an inside, courtyard. That is for our grades 3 through 5, our pre-K program. We're replacing the rubber mulch as well as the playground there, as well as the bigger playground area for the grade ages 5 through 12. Resolutions 12, 13, and 14. This is for work at School 4. This is to replace the rubber mulch. As we spoke about in Finance Committee when we went to School 4, we had a very big interior courtyard. And speaking with the principal and speaking with school administration, as well as the district administration, we thought it would be best to do a playground area / outside learning area for this area at the school, which is what items 12, 13, and 14 are representing. Resolution number 15 is to replace the scoreboard at our football field. This was part of our budget presentation, and this work we've spoken with the vendor, and it would be able to get done, as long as there's no delays before the start of this season. Item number 16 is to replace the carpet in the administrative building. We would be replacing it with the tiled carpet, as opposed to the carpet that is in there now. The beauty of the tile carpet is if there's a stain, if there's anything wrong with the carpet, instead of having to replace the entirety of the carpet, you can just replace the stained tiles. Item number 17 and 18 are in regards to our Title III and Title III immigrant funds. The item number 17 is for an outside consultant for parent programs as required by the Title III grant. And item number 18 is Elevation Education Platform. This is going to be run concurrently with the Linden program that we had previously approved at our last board meeting. And both of these items are being funded out of the Title III and Title III immigrant grant. Item number 19 is in regards to our food service program for the purchase of the Mosaic Cloud front-end support. This would be funded out of our cafeteria account. Item number 20, at our last meeting, we had done an approval for the Class 3 officers. increasing their rate. This is changing the addendum, or this is actually providing an addendum to the shared service agreement between the Linden Board of Education and the City of Linden for these specialty rates for that increase that we had done previously. Item 21 is approving the OMB mileage rate, and I apologize, the rate here, and I looked at the wrong website, it should be 47 cents a mile, not 58 cents. So on Thursday's meeting, we'll have that adjusted. Item number 22 is the authorizing the business administrator to submit the board secretary and treasurer report to the county offices. This is required every year. We are required to submit the June 30th report to them. Item number 23 is approving the following non-resident children or wards of staff members to be enrolled and their tuition rates. And the tuition rates are per policy. Item number 24, this is for an out-of-district, I wouldn't say placement, these are tuitions that we're paying for students that previously were domiciled within Linden, who are now considered homeless. They don't have a permanent home. For 1 year, they are our financial responsibility as the district of last residence. So we are responsible basically through January 25th of 2024. But this is to cover the tuition costs for this year. And finally, item number 25 is for the disposal of equipment, which is actually ironic because it is a lot of musical equipment that we are getting rid of. So we have some coming in from the donation and some going out, being obsolete. But we also have some items on here in regards to technology that we are also looking at disposing of. And that's it in regards to finance.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question, but this might not require an immediate response. But do we have any money allocated in our budget to repair the scoreboards at the baseball and softball field? Because I've been at a couple of their games, and the scoreboards there don't work, and it's hard to follow the game without actually being able to see the scores on the screen.
We can look to get a quote on that.
Okay, thank you.
I also have a question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Ms.
On page 40, number 16,
Yes.
that's for a piece of carpet or carpet for the,
Carpet for the entire building.
for the whole building?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's a lot of money.
Anybody have any more questions?
Yes, I do. It's actually for the projects that we're doing. I believe that I brought it up once before, the gym still has the hooks. And since we've been over to Tigers, we've never changed the gym. Is that in the,
Yes, we're in the process of changing that out as well.
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
When would they start doing that? Is it
They done that
time?
already, or?
As soon as- Okay. Okay. Oh, it's good to know.
Is the fence in School 10 completed?
Yes.
And I am so happy about that.
Okay, on page 41, number 24, the students who is homeless, how do we, we're paying them to go to school, but where are they living at?
They're living in Stafford. I know, this is the way that the law is written. I think the intention is for it to not put an undue burden on one school, or rather one district. And like I said, these are our students' financial responsibility. They are our responsibility. The students themselves actually have the ability to either attend Stafford, or they could have chosen to come back to Linden. So I think because of the distance, they're staying at Stafford. But like I said, it's unfortunate. But like I said, this is our financial responsibility.
Even though it's our financial responsibility, how are they doing?
That I would have to,
Can we find out
Yes.
how they're doing? Because this is like a real burden.
Yes.
You know, they're homeless or whatever, even though we're paying for them to go to school, but are we dealing with their mental capacity as well?
Well, that actually technically is Stafford's
That's
responsibility.
their
yeah.
responsibility. But being that it's our children,
Yes.
can't we just like say, hey, how are they? What's going on? We just want to know. I just want to know. You know, I'm for children. You know me, so I just want to know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other question? Well, I have a question. Number 20, well, it's about number 23, residency check. We all know that Linden is in the middle of Elizabeth, Roselle, and Rahway. I am concerned that we may have students that are living in different cities that may be attending school here. I do not know if this is the case, but I just want to know how is our residency check going to make sure that the students that taxpayers are paying to come to school lives in Linden. You have any? Yes.
Yes, well, students who are registering, anyone who registers, you have to have required documents to show that you do live in Linden. Our attendance officers then have to check on that resident. For all of our students who are currently enrolled in the district, we do residency checks for all of them. And this year, that was a discussion we had last year with Ms. Lewis, the supervisor of special services, is that we will be initiating district-wide residency checks after the school year starts.
How does that process work? What time of the day do they come to check on these students to see if they actually live in Linden?
Well, there's a whole process to it, and I don't believe we should share it in public of how we're going to confirm
Yes,
our
I
residency.
understand,
Because the
yes.
ultimate goal is, yes, we want to make sure that the students who are here on our roll belong here. So that's definitely in the works.
The reason why I bring up this question is that I was told that there is a lot of students that attend Linden School District that possibly may not live in Linden. And anybody could say anything. It may not have to be true. But the question is, if it is true, we need to stop it. It's unfair to the residents of Linden that we have students from other districts living here.
I would just say if there's any information
Yes.
regarding people attending the district without paying tuition that should not be attending the district without paying tuition, they should bring it to the attention of the administration. And the administration will look into it and handle it as appropriate.
Okay.
And that process is carried out through the year. We did have specific numbers last year, because if mailings go out and they return back to us, then that's residency. Why is the mailing come back? Children speak on it, or if we hear something, but yes, that is definitely a priority that we do monitor, and it will continue.
So if a mother lives in Elizabeth, I'm just giving a scenario, but a grandmother lives in Linden, how does that child become a resident of Linden if the grandmother lives here and the mother lives in another city? How does that work?
The only way that would happen is if that grandmother had legal custody of the child, because again, when you register your child, it has to be due to legal, what was I just now said? The child has to be yours, or we have affidavits stating that you may not have. There's just a process. There's multiple things that are required of all residents to provide where they live. So, but yeah, we just, your relation to someone in Linden does not give you a right to attend our schools. You have to reside in Linden in order to attend our schools and show proof of residency.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next agenda item, yes?
I think Mrs. Fleming has some.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I just wanted to say, some of this stuff we really don't want to discuss in public, as the superintendent stated, because you are giving away vital information that allows somebody to know how you do it, gives them more capability of maneuvering, through the regulations, and that's probably not a wise choice. But But on another note, I do want to also say that there was a lot of things on this agenda that are really great. I don't know if it's because I'm sitting here looking at everybody all at one time and that I don't notice it really too much while I'm sitting there in person. However, right now we just listed a truckload of great things happening for our school districts, and I just want to say thank you to John. Thank you for this. Thank you to the staff for really digging in and putting these things on the agenda in order to, complete these things. When I came here, we had a list of things. I don't know, I'm sure the rest of us had. There's a reason why we're here. There's a list of things that we want to do before our time is up. My time is almost up. A lot of these things are being done or they're on the list. So I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work and really pushing a lot of these things forward, for the safety, for the well-being, for the caring about the mental wellness. All of these things are great, and I just want to say thank you and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming. Anyone else?
And I also have a comment, but I think we'll do that in closed session about the residency, because we had this in the past that we had to vote on as a whole. So I just want to make sure if it's private, we'll do it in private.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. Anyone else have any comments? Okay, so our next agenda item, buildings and grounds.
On the agenda, we just have 3 use of facility requests. The first is for a children's flu clinic and COVID vaccine at school number 1. Number 2 is for a basketball program throughout the district at McManus, Soul, School 6, and School 5. And number 3 is for an a cappella barbershop contest on February 24th of 2024 at Soul.
Any questions? Our next agenda item is planning and policy report.
So this is our second reading for the policy titled Search and Seizure. It was, the first reading was last month, and the revision to the policy includes discussing just searching students. And again, we discussed for safety and security that we purchased the weapons detection system that will be on the secondary level. So this is the second reading for this policy.
Our next agenda item before we go into executive session is comments from the public. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please begin your comment by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficiency and orderly operation of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on items for 3 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Donna Hernandez, 133 Princeton Road. Hope everyone's summer's going well. Just want to say the class of 2024 is having a car wash on Monday, August 7th. So we have some flyers that I can give out at, after the meeting. And we wanted to know if we can put some on the table so if anybody, on Thursday, so if anybody comes, they can maybe grab one. We'll also be putting this on Facebook and, hopefully sending it out district-wide as well. But that's all. Thank you. See you Thursday.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Rob Mangel, LHS Social Studies teacher, LEA president. I wanted to just take a moment and kind of piggyback on what Superintendent Perkins was talking about with our summer programs. I know Dr. Berghammer, you asked, what's going on in the district, and Ms. Perkins pointed out the fact that we have a whole bunch of programs at the secondary level. We also have STEM programs, ESL programs. Elementary school staff have been delivering hands-on and engaging lessons to allow students to continue learning, to feel prepared for next year. Our social workers throughout the district have been working on building lessons that help students learn a little bit about themselves, dive into the social emotional learning aspect of themselves, of the community, of all of that. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out the fact that these wonderful programs are being staffed by LEA members, folks who are taking time out of their summer, who are spending an extra 4, 5, 6 weeks with the students of Linden to help them continue to grow, to stop the summer slide that Ms. Perkins referenced earlier tonight. So thank you, and I'll see y'all on Thursday.
Thank you. Is there anyone online who have anything to say? Ms. Fleming, you have anything to share before we move on? Okay. Now, at this moment, the Board of Education would be going into executive session. At the ending of the session, we will return and we will close the meeting. So if anyone have any questions to ask or anything, we would ask that you do it now. This meeting that we are about to go in could take anywhere from maybe 15 minutes or longer, depending on the issues that we are going to be discussing. So I want to thank you guys very much. If some of you guys think you do not want to wait because we're just going to be closing at the end of the meeting, you are welcome to leave. If not, we would love to see you when we return. I would like a board member to request that we go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I got to do the roll call.
Oh, roll call.
Roll call.
Miss Armstead.
Yes.
Miss Carrillo.
Yes.
Miss Cintron.
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Mrs. Fleming.
Yes.
You there?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for unmuting me.
Miss Pino.
Yes.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Yes.
We just need personnel. And then
They should make a reality show about the airport. I mean,
They did.
I would watch it.
Southwest had it.
You ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'd like someone to make a motion to reopen the meeting.
Motion to come back into public?
Second.
Roll call.
Miss Armstead.
Yes.
Miss Carrillo.
yes.
Cintron.
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Is Miss Fleming still here?
Should be able-
Miss Pino.
Yes.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Our next agenda item is new and unfinished business.
Yes, I do have something I want to add. With the school busing, I just want to know the policy, because if you heard it in the news, there was a misfortunate special needs student that passed away in a district school bus because the aide was listening or had her earpiece. I want to know if we have a policy in place that all the aides on the bus, whether it's special needs students or not, that they do not have their earpiece on them as they're working with students on the bus.
That's a good.
And if not, I would like to enforce a policy for that.
And how many on the bus?
I second that. I didn't know that.
I think that's.
Well, we
interesting.
contract out to our buses, and so we will inform the bus company to make sure that that is not, we're not going to allow for that, to have earbuds in or anything like that. We can do that.
Yes.
But there isn't a district policy because, again, we're outsourced by the bus company.
And we did, forward that to all our bus companies when we did see that article to say, we saw this and it's a tragedy. We shouldn't have this happen for us.
That's very interesting, I like.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Any other?
It's not new, but are they checking the buses as well? Even though they're not our buses, but even though we contract out, are they checking the attendance on the bus? Because, like, accidents happen, this shouldn't have happened, it's unfortunate. But are they checking them and see what are they doing? Are they doing what they're supposed to do?
Well, again, that would be under the direction of the bus company, but on the district level, what we do is we do give them an attendance list, a list daily of who's on the bus, so they're able, and with the count, so they're able to check that off, but we'll make sure too that's just brought up.
Thank you.
Sam, that was a very, very interesting point.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. Also, I know it's a vendor and we contracted them out, but do we overlook or do we ever do an audit to make sure they're following what we want or what we need on that? Or we just go by their
Standards or whatever.
standard and their word of mouth that they're following policy? So let's say I've driven by behind the school bus and I see them breaking a lot of laws and I had to question because it's concerning where they were dropping students off. Okay, so I saw that I was wrong and they addressed it. We addressed it. So now I'm driving by and I see them with the headset on. And now I question it. Do we, as a district, say, okay, let's audit them today, or do a surprise audit that we can to see that they're meeting our standards at least also? Because we should have some standards on that.
I don't believe we have, but we can look into
Yeah,
it.
we can look into it.
You know, Mr. Serapillier, he's over the transportation department, but we'll definitely have that discussion. So what I'm hearing you state is that you just want to make sure that we're assessing that they're, we're being proactive instead of
Yes.
reactive.
Yes.
To make sure they're meeting the needs of our students, yes.
Thank you.
Anything else from anyone? Mr. Oliveri, for our Thursday meeting, I would like in new business, I would like some more update on our night school and our CTE program. Our new school year beginning, and I want to know how those programs are going. I'm sure everybody here is interested in finding out more about our night school program. If you have a list of what programs that will be on the agenda or what they would be doing, I think we would like some more information about that. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay? On Thursday. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before we close the meeting?
I had something, but I forgot.
Okay, so would someone make a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to close?
There you go. Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
And Dr. Berghammer?
Yes. Meeting adjourned.
Good job.